Hello, everybody. Welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Please leave your bias at the door and join us to react to the news that Xisco Munoz has become the first Premier League manager this season to be sacked, depart, leave their post. And in typically familiar fashion, this news obviously broke as soon as I got into the bath, hence I'm looking like a drowned rat. And it is also familiar news for Watford to sack the manager. Now, let's just make this statement right now, because there is a conceived wisdom about Watford, and a lot of people will draw a certain conclusion regardless of the facts. And that conclusion is that Watford is a bit mad and they always sack lots of managers, and that's because it's a bit mad. Now, if you don't really want to look into any of the detail, and that's going to be your conclusion, hit pause now, write that in the comments. Watford are a bit mad and they always set their managers because they're a bit mad. And you won't need to watch any of the video because you're in this groupthink, which does exist around Watford and the dealings with managers, obviously. Now, I'm not saying there isn't a kernel of truth into that, but I do think it's important to look into the detail and the nuance around these type of things, and not just jump to the obvious conclusion. Hey, you may listen to everything I've got to say, and at the end type, Ben, Watford sack all their managers because they're a bit mad, and that's why they've sacked all their managers. But there you go. Let's just try and take this apart a little bit. Just complete clarity. Cover the Championship here. Watford came on my radar last season, still covering them in my Dearly Departed shows this season. So, right all over them last season. Before that, in my periphery, I have to say, but I have been aware of the long list of managers that have come and gone at Watford, and that left us at the end of the season with Nigel Pearson going one game, I think, before the end of the season, and Hayden Mullins doing the last one or two games, and Vladimir Ivic coming in to do the job in the Championship. Ivic was a little bit of a surly-looking fella, and with that disposition, we wondered how long he would last. He lasted up until, I think, about December sort of time. Fact check me on that, with Watford last season. And they were in the top six, sort of fourth or fifth. They'd started the season on paper fairly well, which is going to be a theme when we discuss Xisco and his departure here. They'd not conceded a lot of goals. They'd already started to build what was going to be the ridiculously good home record that was going to eventually get them promoted. There was all of these Captain Deeney and fallout stories, which Troy Deeney has denied. So if we take him at face value, there's probably not too much to read into that. Needless to say, Ivic didn't fit in very well. In comes Xisco. And yeah, it was December time, because I remember them beating Norwich in a top of the table clash. And again, we'll talk about Watford beating Norwich as a kind of important fixture and part of these stories, really. And Xisco comes in, and I was at one of the games in the press conference, and I met him. Who did they play? Played Rotherham, and I asked him a couple of questions, and I thought, this is I'm sounding incredibly condescending now. This is a lovely little Spanish man who's incredibly friendly, incredibly nice. How's he going to go here at Watford, where it's a tough job sometimes at Watford, isn't it? And we will confess that maybe that it's not just about the Pozzo ownership and removing managers, but that does tend to be the kind of operational methodology, doesn't it? That, you know, we'll switch out the manager and we'll keep trying to build and recruit innovatively as they do, and try and leverage the situation with Udinese and all of that good stuff. Anyway, Xisco got Watford promoted, and yes, they were a year one parachute team. Yes, we were in COVID, where it appeared that financial advantage seemed to be bigger than ever, with Watford and Norwich just disappearing off into the distance, Bournemouth losing in the playoff semi-finals as well. We're up there. Swansea as well, we're a parachute team in the top 6. I think it's 4 of the top 6 with Barnsley and Brentford making up the numbers there. What he did do was a very clever, or no, obvious, or the right thing, switch to 4-3-3, and the sort of Deeney and Gray team was changed up a little bit. And 2 things: brilliant home record as well, and very good defensively with Sierralta and Ekong, Firmino, Messina, and Backman in a 5, and he got them up. And I don't know. There's always this sense with teams that bounce back and the managers change during the season, and they've got the parachute money and they've got the good squad. And sometimes there's a sense that they just power their way through and they kind of cobble it together. So as much as I liked Xisco, there was that sense, and he had Ismail Assar down the right, who was very, very good, and people like Cleverley and Chalobah and Hughes, but at championship level, just very good players. So there was a bit of a sense of, look, just get up. We don't care how you do it. Just get up. Not the sort of thing maybe you've seen at Sheffield United or a Leeds or a Brentford, where you see it build over a couple of seasons, and you think, oh, there's a lot going right here. So, but they got, what did they get? 90. I think I got it up there. 91 points. So. It's still an impressive feat to get up there in second on 91. So in we come into the Premier League season for Xisco, and Hughes went out, didn't he? I guess that'd be the one big sale, wasn't it? And it felt like more a sort of accumulative attempt to recruit with Dennis and King, Sissoko, Tufan, Kuchka, Loser. Sorry, I'm just looking down the squad here on the other screen. Anyone come in across the back there? It did feel a little bit like we're not taking a team here at Watford that was sort of firing in the best way and, right, we just need to add this player here or this player here. So it kind of felt like a work in progress on a work in progress, if you know what I mean, the recruitment this season. Again, I'm just going to flip to the other screen. So Watford, and this is where people are going to jump all over them. Watford have 7 points from 7 games, and they're in 14th position in the table. Now, the reason people will jump on that is A, they're not in the relegation zone. And people are very, very binary about this, aren't they? They take one look at the league table and decide whether it's a good or bad idea to sack a manager, when we all know that you've got to dig a little bit deeper than that. The league table tells us a lot, but it doesn't tell us a great deal, frankly, often about whether a manager should stay or go, if I can be as bold as to say that. We do know that 1 point per game will probably keep you up, or you'll be very close in the Premier League to staying up. I think there's this old myth from the from the old 22 team league, you're going to get 40 points. And that seems to have kind of held over. But we've had 20 teams now for the longest time. And it is more like 1 point per game and getting to 38 or around there. And you're normally okay, especially in the Premier League with this stretching of the table where the big boys tend to be very good at just whipping the entire bottom half, basically. And then you get a lower total than the 38, and okay, you sometimes get 3 way under it and survive, but sometimes it goes to 5 or 6 and you look and teams can survive with 37, 36, 35. I'm sure if you check the historical tables, teams have done that as well. So people are going to look at that table, and if they're not going to read into this, they're going to go, oh well, this is a bad decision because of this one reason, and that obviously is a single factor analysis on something that's very, very complicated. That's fine. If you want to do that, that's cool. I can't stop anyone. Everyone's entitled to their opinion under a lovely thing called freedom of speech that we have here. So if you do want to look at it that way, fine. There's more to kind of delve into. And when you look at how the points have been accumulated for Watford this season, what you'll kind of find is there was this opening day crazy game against Villa where they were 3-0 up and then it went back to 3-2 right at the end of the game. And there's just a little bit of a sense that Villa were caught off guard in the first game without Grealish, and there was a sort of a few players that had been signed that either were not quite ready or I just remember it being a little bit of a sense of, right, good time. And, and when you look at where Villa are and where Watford now are, you do think, was that just an outlier, that one, to go 3-0 up and for everything to kind of fly in? Maybe I'm being unfair. You tell me in the comments. And then we move on to a defeat at Brighton, a defeat at Tottenham, a defeat at home to Wolves. And the other bulk of the points, you got 7 points, which is essentially 2 wins and a draw, came away at Norwich. And again, people will throw up the mitigating fact. I do accept Norwich finished above Watford last season. Watford did beat them twice, though, didn't they? In that early game for Xisco. And then, to be fair to Norwich, after Norwich had already been confirmed as being promoted, I believe Watford went there and won. So those are the 2 wins. So those people that want to make this argument, and I think I might be making it, are that was the 1 point per game sustainable across the season on the basis of maybe an outlier win against Villa and a victory away at Norwich? The games that you can kind of look into a little bit more, I guess, and there's 2 of them after that other win was recorded against Norwich, was against Newcastle and yesterday against Leeds. Part Leeds, because Leeds are currently below Watford in the table and will seem pretty certain that they'll finish above them, won't they? That will switch out. Newcastle at home, though, would have been one that's circled. And maybe Wolves at home with a new manager in there and Wolves not quite firing. I think that was Wolves' first win and first goals as well. So you look at the season, and I don't think it's reasonable to judge the 7 points from the 7 games and to automatically then assume that you can roll out, they'll get 38 and they'll have a chance of staying up. So I do think there's a fair bit of nuance we do need to look at. Here's the club statement. Doesn't say a lot, to be honest there. Watford confirms Xisco has left his post. Board feels recent performances strongly indicate a negative trend at a time when team cohesion should be visibly improving. I say it doesn't say a lot. I actually applaud Watford for actually saying that. Normally we get, there will be no further comment, he's gone, goodbye. But let me just read that again. The board feels recent performances strongly indicate a negative trend at a time when team cohesion should be visibly improving. I think, in a roundabout kind of way, that's what I'm sort of saying, is that the trend is pointing that ultimately it will be below 1 point per game, which is currently at. And I do believe, oh my God, yeah. So look at these next fixtures. Liverpool, Everton, Southampton, Arsenal, Manchester United, Leicester, Chelsea, Manchester City. So I guess the argument with the timing is that you're up, you're in the Premier League, you're banking that juicy 100 million quid TV money. You want to stay up for more than one season. And I guess the Watford higher-ups are looking now, and we've played 7 games, haven't we? Let me just tell you, that run of fixtures that I've just described, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, will be at game 15 by then. And I just guess the Watford higher-ups are thinking, how many more points than 7 will we have at 15? Are we going to have 15 points at game 15? I don't think so. Whereas, if you're kind of firing and you're moving in the right direction, like, let's be fair, Brentford are, you might feel, maybe we can take a few points out of that and it's not going to be, huge disaster. And then, of course, what follows that is Brentford, Burnley, Crystal Palace, Wolves, West Ham, Tottenham, and then Newcastle, Norwich. So I guess there's an argument that if you stick someone in now, get things moving, okay, it's a horrible run of games. Maybe they can get things cracking by then. Either way, I think we're going to be quite binary on this in the comments. And look, everyone's entitled to their opinion. I just wanted to say at the top of the video, let's not just go, here's the league table, it's a silly sacking. There's far, far more to it than that, I think. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. I've seen both sides of it. What I am seeing, though, and I don't want to sound snotty or snobby, is I'm seeing Watford fans and kind of people around it saying, this wasn't going well and it's projecting a failure. And I'm seeing people from the outside and some of my Luton friends and, people just peering in going, this is crazy. So I think there's a little bit of a split here by those kind of close and those distance. I think to throw my kind of opinion in, obviously context is king. And if they bring in someone who does a terrible job and regardless of Xisco changing, they're still at, I don't know, game 15 with 9 points or something, then you would say, well, what difference does it make? But if they get a little bit of a push and they can work forward, or alternatively, they know who they want to hire, frankly, I don't know. Is it worth a go if they can afford to do the compensation and all that and move somebody else in then? So be it. The proof will be in the pudding. And I suspect, don't look back after game 15, after they've played all of that with Chelsea, Man United, Liverpool, Everton, etc. run. I'd say you look back at game 20 when this manager's still there, been in for a while and got that run of games then with Burnley and Brentford, Newcastle, Norwich, I think whoever it was, coming up towards Christmas time. So, yeah, Watford, fire another manager. Get your thoughts in the comments. And if after all of that you do want to write, Ben, Watford ownership is mad and they just fired him because they're mad, fine. Go ahead, be my guest. But I'd love to hear some joined up thinking around whatever you were saying. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Please hit subscribe. Ring the bell. We're going to be back later. Obviously, Watford's one of our dearly departed teams. We're going to wait for Brentford to play, do a dearly departed show. And I'm going to be doing my championship review at 7 p.m. So, pick the bones out of Xisco. Good luck to the fella. Seemed a lovely, lovely bloke. I just don't know whether going in and out of Watford fast damages the employability going forward. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Over and out.